sleep last night, Phoebe?
Fine, actually. I drank a lot that day, so
Yeah.
I don't know about waking up, but the sleeping, I think, went well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Phoebe Engel here is in town from Boston.
What up, Chicago?
So have you been out to Chicago before?
I came out to Chicago a couple years ago when I first started doing comedy for the Chicago Women's Funny Fest. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think that's like in June or July.
Yeah, I still don't know where it was, and I was only out here for like 36 hours.
Oh, yeah.
I came after work, did my show, had the day, and then did the second show, and then flew back the next morning, so I didn't really get to see it.
Yeah.
But this has been a lot of fun. This has been my first actual Chicago experience. I've done a lot of fun shows, meeting cool people, seeing a new scene. I don't usually get out of my own all that much besides to go to festivals.
Yeah.
And then even then you don't really get to see where you are.
Yeah.
You get to see the festival space.
Yeah, you don't really get the experience of living in the city or seeing
Yeah. But I'm here kind of doing the tourist thing with two other comics, Jared Palapple and Owen Linders. And so we're both half being touristy, probably drinking too much, and then doing some really fun shows.
That's fun,
Yeah,
man.
it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, I guess you don't get a ton of sleep when you're traveling and seeing a bunch of shit, right?
Yeah. I don't get a ton of sleep either way, but
yeah. So we have something weird in common. We
do. We're both narcoleptics.
I know. I've never met another narcoleptic comic before.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I've definitely met a number of comics with sleep disorders.
Yeah.
And it's a tiny theory of mine that's one of the many things that comics have in common.
What do you have a big list of things you have to do to be a stand-up comic?
I've got a bit of a breakdown. I've noticed over the years that a lot of comics have similar things in common, and I think sleep disorder is definitely one of them, whether it's sleep paralysis, which I get a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you you feel like you're paralyzed, you're about to wake up or really tired and you feel like you can't move your body.
Yeah, well, sleep paralysis is very common with narcolepsy,
mm-hmm.
as I'm sure you know. Nowadays I get more of the sleep paralysis. When I was younger, I used to fall asleep a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think that had to do with me being in college and bored, and if I sit still long enough, I'll fall asleep. I'll just start doing the head nodding thing.
Yeah.
Which is why when I drive, I almost always listen to podcasts. I drink a lot of 5 Hour Energy. Try to keep the B12 up. But yeah, mostly the sleep paralysis at night. I know a lot of comics who have a history of bedwetting.
Yeah. Actually, I had one of my friends, Amanda, she's one of my first on here. She talked about how she bedwet a little bit. And Sarah Silverman did too.
Yeah. Sarah Silverman, someone did that. Also Sleepwalking. Whole movie about it,
Yeah.
Birbiglia is the sleepwalker.
You can have a whole sleep disorders tour.
Yeah, right? I just think that's really common. It must have to do with how our brains work. Being on a different wavelength. That REM cycle coming into our waking life. That's not science. I just thought of that right now.
Yeah.
It's not a real thing.
Who knows? Or that movie, that makes you think of that movie, Waking Life.
Yeah, that movie was dope. That movie made me think a lot about my own sleep disorder. Back when I watched that. I think the first time I watched it, I didn't understand it, but...
When did you get diagnosed?
So I got diagnosed with narcolepsy, I think end of high school.
Okay.
Because teachers at my school were always Phoebe's always falling asleep in class. Always. And I was saying I get enough sleep at night. I'm not just staying up late watching TV, talking to people on the phone. They just thought I was staying out all night too. I'm not out drinking. I'm no, I go to bed at a reasonable hour. It's just if I'm bored, I fall asleep.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, and it's terrible because I've actually fallen asleep in shows before.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, usually it's because I'm tired on top of it, but my body's just
oh, I'll do that too, and I think everyone just knows that. Hey, it's okay. Don't be offended. If it's super warm, if I'm in a really comfy chair, that's just super easy for me too.
Yeah. Well, what it is I guess I don't know what your narcolepsy is, but there's a lot of things that trigger narcolepsy, like different environmental factors, family history. I think mine mostly comes from, I also have autoimmune problems.
Actually, they're thinking that narcolepsy is more of an autoimmune disorder instead of a neurological thing, which is interesting.
Yep. And there actually is a blood test you can do did you get the blood test?
No, I did a sleep study. I was also diagnosed in high school. Like, I was like, I think end of junior year I was diagnosed. Yeah. Or end of sophomore, end of junior, something like that. And so, I had like a sleep study done. And so I recently, about a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, I had another sleep study done.
Okay.
So they did more of a sleep study test instead of I haven't done the blood test, but.
See, the blood test isn't like totally conclusive because I guess, so if you have narcolepsy, almost all people who have narcolepsy have some characteristic in their blood. But then also 25% of the population who are otherwise healthy also have that. So it's not conclusive.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll keep exploring it if you do in fact have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they also like there's that chemical in the brain, hypocretin or whatever, that like
the one that's in your spinal cord too. You can test it in your spinal cord.
Yeah, that's the thing that like and I think that actually I read about that limits in your mind. It like tells you when you've had enough like to sleep, when you've had enough food, and when you've like arousal.
Yeah,
so it's,
like,
these three things, and it makes me think, oh, there's a lot of times we'll all just keep eating and not not like think about it.
Compulsory behavior type thing.
Yeah.
And that's probably also why like you get it when you're like, surprise, you're like, ooh, I want to sleep, right?
Yeah, that's the falling down, that's the cataplexy. So normally
I don't get the cataplexy.
Yeah, only like 40% I think. Or like it's so hard to tell because only 25% of people are probably diagnosed. So it's like a really weird like area, and a lot of people get diagnosed later. Like I was lucky, I feel like. And that was mostly because my parents knew I wasn't lazy, and I would fall asleep in class and everything, and I don't know. They were just trying to figure out what was wrong. They thought I had mono. They kept telling me I had mono for years.
Yeah, me too. Well, I did have mono. And so they're just explaining it as...
It stays in your blood.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is mono forever. But because I also had the sleep paralysis. I get the sleep paralysis pretty bad even still. Yeah. That I got diagnosed officially as having narcolepsy, and they gave me Provigil. They gave you Ritalin or something,
I know,
right?
But I tried, they tried twice to push Provigil on me. I did Provigil in high school, and it did not go well with my moods.
It's speed. It's insane.
Well, I mean, they're basically like all the medicine to keep you awake is basically some kind of form of speed.
Yeah.
But Provigil didn't work with me personally, and then they tried it again, but the thing is, it also conflicts with birth control. So,
whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't tell you that. That was an interesting thing. That's why I changed doctors after like one was like, oh yeah, here's this medication. I had a serious boyfriend at the time.
Yeah,
and they give you samples for your first month. You know how they give you like
samples.
Yeah. So she gave me samples, and then when I went to refill it at the pharmacy, it was the Walgreens pharmacist, because I got my birth control and that pill at the same time. They're like, oh, these two drugs don't really go together. And I was like, what?
I never knew that.
And I had my only pregnancy scare, thankfully. And then I was like, all right, screw this doctor, I'm switching doctors. Like that did not vibe well with me. So then I got on I do Focalin XR with a little bit of Ritalin as a backup, and then I'm gonna get back on Xyrem, which is this crazy medicine that you take at night.
Yeah.
That supposed to help regulate your sleeping, but it's like really hard to get. It's weird.
Huh. Yeah, I don't take medication for it anymore because now that I do comedy and my day job requires a lot of like standing and moving around, I would fall asleep more when... So what would happen is your body was like, oh, you're sleeping because you're sitting still. Yeah. And so I would immediately start dreaming. I would go from awake to dreaming. Yeah. And so I'd be in class because like the rapid eye movement begins, and then you're dreaming, but you're supposed to be asleep for a period of time. Yeah. My dumb brain is like, oh, you're asleep. And so I would just start talking in class in my sleep, and people were like, "You are so weird." It was funny though. It was something we could make fun of.
Yeah.
And, like my teachers and stuff were like, "You're doing this on purpose to make people laugh," because I would make people laugh in high school, and I'm like, "No, I hate this because it's scary." It was scary too.
I would do the same thing in class. Like I would have sleep paralysis in every class, and I would have this thing where I was like lay down on the and in my head I'd be like, "All right, lift your head, lift your head, lift your head," like try to lift my head to wake up, and I would lift my head, but then I'd lose control and fall down.
Yeah, that's the paralysis. Yeah.
And it's like, but in my mind I was like, if I can just will my body parts to wake up, and it would do it to a certain extent, which is like, oh, your mind has some kind of control, but sometimes I'd hallucinate on top of that, which was scary. So sometimes it'd be like I'd hear the teacher talking, but we were in a different place and time and all that. It was like a dream. And sometimes I would wake up. I would just like scream to and wake up. I'd be like screaming in my head trying to get it, and I would just and everyone would turn and look at me and be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Or just say something bizarre. You're like, I don't want to go there right now.
Oh, I do. I definitely do that, especially if I like make out with someone kind of late at night. Like I get dreams, and like I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I sometimes will say something that does not make sense when I'm really tired. So that's a weird thing.
Yeah, the thing that's worse though with mine is because the paralysis is so much worse. Is I get the kind of sleep paralysis at night. I describe it as, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know how people be like, oh, you know how when the alarm clock becomes part of your dream? It's like your environment becomes part of your dream. And sometimes you are aware and you can almost lucid dream. And that's fun. Like go in and out of a dream, aware that it's a dream, and have fun with it, almost like you're tripping. Yeah. In a good way. But then sometimes I'll be lying in bed, going from awake to asleep, and I'll like see something terrifying in my room and freak out. Yeah. And my boy, I usually see like something in the corner, like behind the shadowy door. Figure. Yeah. That's like a lot of. I see more and more articles on the internet now, and I didn't realize how common it was. A lot of people get visions of someone sitting on their chest, and they can't move, like in their face. I more see people in the corners of my room, and I'll scream, and I'll sit up, and it'll still be there, but I'll also see my boyfriend in the room not seeing it. Yeah. And I'll do this. And that will pull me out of it.
Usually for me to get out of sleep paralysis, someone has to say my name or physically touch me. Yeah. So I used to do the same thing. I had a roommate in college who I freaked out, like my dorm mate. Yeah. Like I sat up in the middle of the bed, pointed, and was like, who's the man in the corner? And then I went back to sleep, and she could not sleep the whole night. She was terrified.
Yeah. That's so scary. That would be so terrifying. Oh God. Well, my ex and I both used to sleep talk. And so we'd wake each other up constantly just saying something. It would be like a morning report every day.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. And I used to have my consistent one in high school. It's gotten better now, but I used to have a sleep paralysis every morning. There was a spider crawling on my leg because I'm terrified of spider, and I wouldn't be able to move. But sometimes a shadowy figure. But yeah, a lot of times it was like something similar to the space around you, so you get reality mixed up with dreams. Yep.
Or like your day, like if you take a nap during the day, it gets really weird.
Oh, do you ever like...
Oh, so freaky.
Wait, do you ever like fall asleep and like wake up and you see like it's 8 o'clock? You're like, oh, it's 8 a.m. I'm going to get up, get shit done. And you realize it's 8 p.m. and you're like, oh. Do you ever get that out of it? Like have like a nap that lasts half an hour and think it lasts like 12 hours?
Yes, all the time. Yeah. I think most of my naps when I wake up, I've been asleep for hours, but it will be like 5 minutes. Yeah. Or part of it, I'll completely read the clock wrong. Like, because I am looking at a clock, but my brain is still asleep. So I'm aware I'm looking at the clock, but I think my brain is kind of hallucinating a different time on the clock.
Oh, weird. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's the paralysis, I think I said this wrong before, is though like when you're asleep and you're like, I am awake and I can't move. Yeah. Like I'm just... And that's scary.
What you're describing is like hypnagogic hallucinations, I think is what it's called.
Is that the word for it?
Yeah. Hypnagogic and hypnoponic. So one is when you're waking up and one is when you're falling asleep. Okay. So they're both hallucinations, and that's an actual medical term, which is weird. But But yeah, it's a weird thing because our brains naturally want us to hallucinate. So I think that's very interesting. Like,
yeah, that is interesting,
right? Like, why do we get our change of reality? Like, it's very interesting to see that different point of view.
Yeah, well, in college. I did a thesis on dream science just because I was so interested in it, and like at the end of the day, people don't know why we dream. Maybe it's just because our brain needs to remain active. Mm-hmm. But then if you get into like the spiritual side of it, if you want to get into the hippie stuff and like write it down, your brain likes all that. Like it likes it when you write. Like it improves your memory if you write down what you dream about every night.
Like your memory overall?
Yeah.
Oh.
But then there's also people who just do not dream.
Yeah, but I think people dream, they just don't remember their dreams.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you and I, like, we go straight to REM. Most people take, like, 90 minutes to get, like, 7 minutes of REM. That's a normal person. But, like, I'll go to sleep for a couple minutes and have dreams that last for hours. Mm-hmm. So, like, we've got a little different because we dream a lot more than other people. Mm-hmm. So, maybe it's not that normal. Like, do you find yourself being other people in your dreams? Like...
Yeah, I have been other people in my dreams. Mostly just kind of like, you know how like if someone will be in your dream and they're just a mix of other people, you know?
Yeah.
I will like be that other person.
Oh.
I know. Like a mix of other people, but it's not, weird to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think dreams are crazy, man. I think they definitely have something to do with processing what's going on during the day for your life.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that they don't actually have a real knowledge of why we do this.
Yeah. And you're supposed to, like, all the schools of thought is, like, you have to make what you want to make out of your dream. Mm-hmm. Like, someone can't tell you. It's like, oh, this is symbolic of this. Mm-hmm. Like, all that's kind of BS. Like, you have to figure out what it's symbolic for because brains are all so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And does that affect your, like... do your dreams or sleep stuff affect your comedy at all, or does that not?
I don't think so. I don't ever talk about it in my comedy just because I don't have narcolepsy, I think, as bad as yours. I think in high school it was that bad.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting down and falling asleep a lot. But no, I haven't like ever come up with a joke out of it. I will lay in bed and think of something. Maybe like I'm a little more creative at that time, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I just think it's interesting. But you have, like, a day thing that you do, and then you do comedy at night, right?
Yeah.
But you don't sit around at an office. You're up and about. So
you
don't, like... Because I feel like anyone... I don't know. I feel like with anyone with narcolepsy, it's, like, too easy to fall asleep at a desk. It's too easy to not be able to do mundane things.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. Like, if I, like, I remember doing, like, homework for hours, and I just get tired.
I would do homework in other classes, so that way I wouldn't if I was bored during one of the lessons, I could do homework from a different class.
Yeah.
Because that's how I could try to stay awake during class.
Yeah, or, like, message people.
Oh, yeah, just, like, chat all the time.
Yeah, always have some kind of, like, either cell phone or AIM. Their AIM was around when I was in college.
What was your AIM name?
Oh, it's boring and it's still an old AOL I have. It's just PSA 120. My initials are PSA.
Oh, yeah?
Like public service announcement.
That's funny.
And then my birthday is January 20th. And so it just kind of... Everyone remembered my birthday. I didn't have a cool one. I had like a cool Google one. Mm-hmm. Like G-Chat was a thing for like 1 second. Mm-hmm. And that was Bird's Eye View. Because my name is Phoebe Angle. And I thought it was like a cute play on words. Like that's a bird and that's a position you can see things from as an angle. What about you? What was yours?
I was pretty young. One was like, I was pretty young. I think mine was like, my first one was like Ladybug 500. Like that's like, that gives you an idea of my age. Yeah. I don't think I was I don't even know. It was a while. What was that, like 96? So I must have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I must have been like early middle school or something. I don't know.
Yeah. How old are you?
25.
I am 6 years older than you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. No, it's yeah. That's so weird. Like the ages, like the names. I haven't thought about AOL in such a long time, but that was such a big thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
away messages. You'd leave up an away message.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, my math is really wrong. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I need to wake up. Actually, my medicine needs to kick in so I can wake up. I'm getting too comfy here.
Yeah, this bed is insanely comfortable.
Yeah, back when I had like a big girl job, I like spent money, like I financed this mattress, so I was like, oh, like I feel like I can get some use out of it, at least by interviewing people in it.
Is it Tempur-Pedic?
Yeah, it's like the eco-friendly version of Tempur-Pedic, I think is the way the guy sold it to me. Which is always it. I don't know why Chicago has a ridiculous number of mattress stores. So it was.
What's a non-eco-friendly mattress? What's it made of?
I have no idea, but they were just like, it's 20-year whatever. So I was like, okay, over 20 years, time, yeah. that's a long time. So, yeah. And I think I've had it for a few years. So, but
are these Tempur-Pedic pillows?
One of them is. One of them is like, oh, if you're gonna buy this, I'm gonna throw in this one pillow and this other thing. So
one pillow.
Yeah, just one. Yeah. I was like, why not give me two? Like, just give me two. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I think one of them is. I'm not sure which one, but yeah. So yeah,
it's very.
But the bed itself is like ancient. Like this is from when I was like growing up.
Yeah, I haven't seen like actual bedposts in a while.
Yeah.
This is very suggestive. like bedposts.
Yeah, I've gotten some weird compliments. Like I've had like a guy come over and be like, "Oh, that's a really cool bed." I was like, "I don't think it's cool, but it's just weird." But yeah, like I don't know.
No, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like right now I have a bed that's like not a mattress on the floor, which I think was like a long time coming. Like I think I had a mattress that was in a bed frame as like a child, and then not again until I was 30.
Oh yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I get what you mean. Like
with a frame that's like you can put stuff under it.
What are your thoughts about like? Because I used to have this thing where I talked about guys in their 20s versus guys in their 30s. I always think like most guys in their 20s, it's always like a mattress on the bed, like on the floor. Yeah, and you can tell that they're still in their 20s, and when they get in their 30s, that's when they're like, oh, we need a box spring, we need a bed.
Yeah, you need like a bed skirt.
Yeah,
like you're not supposed. I don't want to see the bottom half of your mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like guys get to a certain age and then they're like, okay, I'm going to try like a little bit, you know?
Yeah. At least, or they don't. Like just,
yeah.
No.
They either do or they don't.
Yeah. Like at some point they've had a girlfriend that like got them into having a bed frame or like a parent.
Yeah.
Like their mother was like, you need to have one.
Yeah, I always feel weird too. Like if guys have like drapery, it's like okay, some girl made you get that.
Yeah,
like
it's like
you are not doing that,
or
like,
your mother. Yeah,
it's either you're too close with a girl, you're too close with your mother, or it's like an ex-girlfriend that like designed your whole place.
These are a remnant of an ex. Oh yeah, my boyfriend right now. Like if I wasn't there, like it would be a mattress. It probably would be a futon still.
Oh god.
Like a futon we started dating and I was like, you need a bed. And like nothing on the walls. Nothing.
No show posters or anything?
Nothing on the walls. And then like just on top of the dresser, just a pile of stuff that was in pockets. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, I used to have this
not like a picture or anything, just like receipts and change. Yeah.
I used to have a container for my ex that was like a thing where he put all his shit because I was like, please stop putting it on all of my services.
Yeah.
But so I bought like a little thing that specifically was like a man thing to put like on your dresser, so you could
man theme.
A man thing just to undo your pockets, I guess.
Was it like? I always think it's funny when like things are for men, therefore they're just faux leather.
Oh, wait, hold on 1 second.
Just like this is a place to put your pens.
Yeah,
but it's also faux leather.
So like this is like what it is. Like this.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm saying. Did you see this? It's just yes, because if it wasn't this black stitched thing, it would be for a lady.
Yeah.
Because only ladies can have organizers. Oh, this is
so
wait. I can't see it. Can they see it?
Yes, they can see it.
You're not allowed to have condoms. Grow up.
I know.
You gotta have safe sex. You're like, oh no!
Oh.
Someone's gonna find out. We talked about birth control, but they can't see your condoms.
I don't know why I care about that. You're right. I shouldn't. Nobody wants. It's not like. Oh well. I think my parents are used to me talking about me having sex on stage, anyways. So. Not talking about me having sex on the stage.
Oh, I got what you meant. Like, just being open about it.
Yeah, they've gotten used to it. They're not surprised by anything at this point. Like, I don't give them warnings about what I'm going to talk about. I just talk about it, and they just learn to deal with it.
I think my mom's more concerned that, like, maybe someone would think I didn't have a good childhood. Like, I could talk about whatever I want. But, like, if I'm like, my family's weird, she's like, why would you say that?
See, my parents are actually really cool, and I was very fortunate. I think I had a pretty good childhood, especially compared with comics. Like the narcolepsy is probably the most tragic thing that, like, I've dealt with, which isn't that tragic.
Yeah, that's not that tragic.
That and, like, a bad breakup, but that was later.
Okay.
You know, so that wasn't a childhood bad breakup. Yeah. You know, I'm still not over, you know, Samuel. Oh man, I can't remember his last name. Oh, I used to have my first crush was named Samuel. What happens when you can't remember your crush's last name?
I had a person I dated, I don't remember his name at all. I think about it often. I'm like, what was that? He had a nickname that my friends called him. He looked like a bulldog. And so I'm just like, yeah, the bulldog guy I dated for 2 months.
Oh, that was like in middle school or something, right?
No, that was when I was like 25.
Oh, wow.
That was like 6 years ago. I can't remember this guy's name.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but like, if you only date him for... I mean, the only thing is that it depends on how significant they are, I guess. Like,
yeah, not very.
Oh, but yeah, one time there was a year where I dated a couple different, like, maybe had like 3 or 4, like, month-long or a couple month-long relationships or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, on New Year's Eve, somebody called me and it was a number I didn't recognize. They left a voicemail and I wasn't clear, and then I called them back. It was like, I'll figure out in the conversation who this is, and I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to get details, and it was kind of awkward, and like he never ended up giving my name because I think me his name because he was offended that I didn't remember who he was. And I felt like something. I was like, oh, here's this guy calling on New Year's Eve trying to like reconnect, and I don't even remember. Like, I had a 5-minute conversation with him trying to get details about stuff without being too obvious, and then I was like, you know what, I'm sorry, I don't know who this is. And that's basically me being an asshole. But
that means that person read the situation really wrong.
I mean, yeah, I felt bad about it. But I mean, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
It's hard to remember people sometimes.
I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at it. I'm like, and people are like, oh, I'm bad with names but good with faces. I'm bad with both.
Oh, me too. I think I might have, what's it called, the facial blindness thing. Facial blindness.
Yeah.
Or partial facial blindness or something like that, where it's like I will have to meet somebody like 10 times or like hang out with them significantly to remember them and point them out in a crowd.
Well, I just think I'm probably normal. It's just in comedy you meet so many people.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you also watch people you like on, like, TV and their specials and stuff. And then for me, on top of that, I'm waitressing right now, but before then, I work in the liquor industry, and I was constantly meeting customers and distributors and stuff, and I was just like, and now everyone blends together. I can't remember you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the problem, too. It's like there's so many people that you meet in comedy. And it's like not until you've seen them consistently for a while.
Yeah, or like worked with them a number of times.
Yeah.
Facebook helps too and doesn't help because I've been lazy and just like, oh, what's this person's name? Yeah. Oh, there they are.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that add me on Facebook that I don't know who they are. So it's like I either send them a message like, hey, I meet a lot of people. Like, where do we meet? And like they will hardly ever message back. I'm like, oh, are you like not a real person?
Oh, I hate that. See, that's a lady comic thing too, because I'm like, is this person a comic that I have met, or are they just a creep?
Oh, yeah. Like, are they just trying to... And I've added some people that I met, and then they, like, write something weird on your Facebook wall.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'm deleting that. And then they continue to try to comment on things, like, in a weird way.
It's like, no, we're not friends. We're acquaintances that are Facebook friends.
Yeah, you shouldn't, like... And also when people clearly don't get Facebook, when they're like, hey, like, we should hang out, it's like they send you, like, a text on your Facebook wall. And then you gotta delete it. Like, weird shit like that.
I've had even weirder, like, when someone goes through your pictures... and write something on a picture like, hey, you should do my show sometime. I'm like, you just went 2 years back in pictures.
No. Or when you get those updates when you're like, oh, this person likes this photo, this person likes this photo, this person likes this photo, that
yeah, my friend has a joke like that. It's just like, that's creepy.
Yeah, like if you get an update, it's all the same person liking a bunch of your shit. You're like, that person just turned into
I've got 24 new likes. What? Oh shit, it's all the same person.
But I have definitely done the thing where I looked at an ex's page that I'm no longer friends with and accidentally was going back through and accidentally liked something. And I was like, oh, that, and I've definitely done it to like an ex's current girlfriend or something. Yeah. I was like, oh, she knows who I am. She knows I just like that by accident. I'm like,
done that too. Or like you're briefly Facebook stalking someone, like, oh, I want to learn more about this person real quick. It's just, you've gone down that Facebook hole into other people's profiles through like pictures, and then you kind of forget that you're not scrolling down just your feed. You're on their wall, and then you like something from days ago. Like, that's so weird. They're
like, why would
me?
Just... yeah.
Why
it's so weird how these little tiny things become such a big deal. Like, like just liking something from a couple days ago. Oh, you're a stalker. Like, how does that like translate? Like,
like I didn't mean to. Well, my friend Dan Crone has a joke where it's like, you don't go into someone's house and just, like, look at their vacation photos. Like, just walk into their house. Like, that's what you'd have to do back in the day and just be like, I like this one. Like, like, flipping through albums. Like, oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, I guess it is so weird, but it's odd, yeah. I just got asked out by someone on Twitter. Like, somebody randomly followed me on Twitter. He's like, hey, I saw your video on this and whatever. And he just direct messaged me. And I was like, I just did not respond back. And I was like, Yeah. I thought that was very weird. He's like, I think you're really funny. And, like, I saw you on, like... this podcast and I saw your video and you want to grab a drink sometime. And I was like, that's nice but weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like
yeah,
like if we knew somebody in common and you went to a show and tried to talk, like
if I met you in person,
like maybe
it's weird you have to separate us.
Yeah, like if you want to be a fan, come to a show and then talk to me afterwards, like a normal person like would do for a band. Like, when I like somebody in a band, I would go see their show. Yeah. You talk to them afterwards, and that's how that starts. Like, a normal thing. It doesn't have to start out on the internet. Yeah. But now it's like, if I see this guy at a show, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's that creepy dude that tried to ask me out on Twitter. I'm not gonna talk to him. Yeah. Sorry, dude, if you're listening.
That is a little weird. Yeah. Now he's gonna be like, oh, no.
Now I'm gonna get, like, an unfollow. I'll be like, oh.
Yeah, unfollow. Like, I'm not gonna share this.
Yeah.
So do people normally wear pajamas on your show?
Some people do, some people don't.
I wear my Boston Bruins yoga pants.
Oh, nice. Yoga pants count. Like, I just find that I wear, like, so many random things will be acceptable as pajamas. Like, my mom was like, hey, you need to look like you're wearing more pajama-y things. Because most of the time it's just, like, a tank top and, like, shorts or something. Yeah.
It's like actual pajamas.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, get something that looks like pajamas. I was like, I can't, like, I had to get a different thing for every time. So I'm like, I need a pajama company to start sponsoring, like,
sponsor her.
Yeah. Sponsor for, like, the 50 people that listen to this or something.
Well, I don't think the last time I, like, wore pajamas. I feel like it's too much work to, like, find the pieces.
Yeah.
Like, I usually just wear, like, a combination of yoga pants, sweatpants, or like a band t-shirt I like. I'm like wearing War on Women today.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Well, you've got a significant other, so when I date somebody, I usually just don't wear anything to bed, and that's just like what you do. Oh, yeah. And that's just like, it's just easier. I don't know. Because you don't have to try to be like sexy with the, pajamas and shit. Yeah. Of course, I don't think I ever tried to be sexy with pajamas. It's too much work.
Sexy pajamas are very uncomfortable.
They are. Because,
like a little, like, lingerie, you're just gonna, like, bunch up around here anyways.
Or like a corset like that. Like, you can't even breathe in that shit,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
So. Yeah, I even wore my hair, like, all pinned up. Like, this is how I sleep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's nice.
It's like rollers, but just clips.
Is it comfortable?
I am committing to this sleeping thing.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Thank you.
I like that you committed to it. It's just it's a fun thing. I don't know. It's a different way to. I think people are more open to talking about shit when they're laying down too.
Yeah, it is. This is definitely different.
It's comfortably.
Yeah, I did a podcast once, which never actually happened. Those are always fun.
Oh.
When someone has, like, interviews you for a podcast and then never releases it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Whatever. But, like, they did one that was in Cars before the comedians riding in Cars thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, this isn't as relaxing as I think you thought it would be.
Oh, yeah. Well, if they try to push something that's a little awkward, or you're like, go there and it feels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, hey, do this thing, but seem natural about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have to drive for that?
I didn't have to drive for it. No, but I was just, like, distracted at, like, things I was looking at. Yawning. I'm laying down.
Oh, cool. Is that you or me? No, that's the alarm. I set an alarm to keep track of time, so. No, this has been cool. Let's see. What other question I usually ask people is, like, what are we talked about the dreams you have at night, but what are your other dreams, like, for the future, for your life?
My real life metaphoric dreams?
Yeah.
I don't know, just to, like, keep having fun doing comedy and see what happens. Like, as far as goals go, I would love to get, like, a late night TV spot, but at the moment, the reason I took a waitressing job, which I love, I'm like, I've got the best job right now, I'm super excited about it, is to really explore and see where I can go with a more open schedule and become a better comic and not so much worry about, like, getting out of work to go do it. So, yeah, I guess my dream right now is to maybe get a TV spot or see how much I can support myself just doing comedy. I don't think those are, like, crazy lofty dreams.
No, those just seem pretty
attainable. I didn't get into it with big dreams. Yeah. Like, I didn't just one day go, I will be a stand-up comedian. Yeah. I just kind of was just like, oh, I like comedy. I'm gonna do it sometimes. And then I started, like everyone, just doing it all the time.
Oh, yeah. You get sucked in. You're like, oh, you do it, and you're like, oh, this is super fun. Yeah. And I'm gonna just keep doing this as much as I can. Yeah. Because you've been doing it for a bit, right?
Yeah. I just realized I kept saying, I'm like, 5 years, but yeah, I'm getting close to, like, 6 years now. Yeah. Doing comedy. Yeah. I would say, like, the first 3, not super serious, but then I just, like, got serious about it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you just reached your point, and you're just like, I'm doing this every night.
Oh, yeah, this is what I do now. Yeah. All the time, forever. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doing it for a while. It's been fun. I met, like, so many cool people. I just like comics, too. Yeah. I like hanging out with comics.
Yeah, some of us are all right.
Bunch of weirdos. Bunch of good kind of weirdos.
But I feel like they just get you more. Like, I can talk, like, I feel like I have had non-comic friends, like normal friends, you know? And it's like, I feel like there's still, like, a level where they don't fully, like, if they're not doing something creative with their life, I feel like there's a level where they don't get me. They're like, oh, why would you wait for 2 hours to, like, go up for 4 minutes? Like, well, you know, they just don't get it.
Well, I just feel like there's, like, an amount of judgmentalness we all have, and comics are just using it differently. Oh. Like, all that judgment is turned into this positive comedy thing. It turns into jokes. It turns into, like, an analysis of the thing you're judging, where I feel like people who don't do comedy, like, when I hear their judgments of things, I'm like, yeah, but where are you going with that? So? Like, yeah. Why, like, oh, so-and-so doesn't have kids, or, like, oh, so-and-so is getting a divorce, and, like, when I hear those things, I'm like, well, what's funny about that? How can I, A, make fun of that person, or make them feel better?
See, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, anytime, and now anything that something, like, quote-unquote bad could happen, like, I just think, oh, how can I make that into something, like, in a good way? And I think that's really fun now that I just don't look at the bad things in the same way, you know? And I feel like people also, I was super proud because of my family for being awesome, because my brother got married in December, and nobody, not a single person, asked if I was dating anybody or when I would get married or any of that kind of stuff. They were very, very cool about it. Oh, yeah. So that's what I was super happy about, because they didn't make me feel weird. Like, it wasn't like, hey, when are you, because I think part of it's because of comedy, because they know they're like, oh, she's doing a stand-up, she's gonna be single. Like,
or that, like, you have better things to talk about, like, those aren't the only things happening in your life, which are for so many people.
Oh, I guess you're right. That's another good way to look at it.
Like, you have another, like, I do get annoyed when people only ask me about it, but then I also get that, yes, this is interesting, And no, I don't want to talk about other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
This was super fun.
Yeah.
This was interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's couple more days in comedy.
That sounds good.
I'm like falling asleep right now.
Yeah, we're both just gonna lay here and fall
in
asleep.
Chicago.
So good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Sarah Albritton, and thank you for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Phoebe Engel. You can catch Phoebe at the Burning Bridges Festival in Pittsburgh, April 15th through 16th. I'm releasing a new podcast each week. Be sure to tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Until next time, good night.